Everybody's different.
Hello Frenzy, my name is Kate Shark and welcome back to my channel. Happy Pride for starters, and I mentioned, if you've seen my last couple videos, thank you for the break, I definitely needed it, as well as those who reached out and supported. I've gotten so many new followers over the during this break, and so thank you. Thank you for subscribing. And if you've seen my last video, I did say I wanted to use Pride Month to highlight queer-owned businesses, and I definitely want to do that. So, excuse me. So, first off, for this episode, I'd like to start off with my lovely wife's business called Defaulted Familiar, and she's been into making bath soaks using natural ingredients, things like herbs and Epsom salts, oatmeal, things like that. She does all kinds of stuff. Definitely check it out, and I'll put her information here on the screen if you'd like to check it out for yourself and see what exactly you would like. But definitely check it out. Not only is it a queer-owned business, it is also a veteran-owned business, so you get two for the price of one. So definitely check her stuff and see what you think. I'll put links also to her Etsy shop in the description below. If you hear something, my cats are playing. They've been wild today. I apologize. But that being said, let's continue on. We are playing a game called A Summer's End, Hong Kong 1986, which is like a interactive story, I believe, more than anything. It got great reviews on Steam, and so obviously it's set in Hong Kong of 1986 in the summertime. Like I said, it got great reviews, and I'm just so excited because the artwork looks beautiful, and it's all like hand painted, and the music sounded great, and you know, it's the 80s and all that, which is actually a little bit older than me. I was the summer after when I was born, so I know a lot of people probably think I'm super old, but anyway, that being said, I'm not gonna waste more time. Let's just go ahead and get started. Old school VHS. When I think of my life, what I have, and what I've accomplished, I think I'm quite content with what it is. I had a comfortable upbringing thanks to the hard work of my parents. I had a very typical family. My father worked to support the household, and my mother was a homemaker. You could say I was a spoiled child. I went to a private school. Whatever toys, clothes, or snacks I could have asked for, my father would have bought it for me. I was a princess. My parents had grown up quite poor after the war. When my father was a young man, he came to Hong Kong by himself from the mainland countryside to find work. He had lost contact with his family during those tumultuous times after the war and the political upheavals that followed. My father had worked his way up from a man doing odd jobs day and night until he eventually became a successful restaurant owner. My mother came from a large family. She wasn't given the opportunity to complete her schooling. She had to quit school at 14 and work to support her family. She had worked many years as a waitress before meeting my father. I suppose the sharp contrast between my upbringing compared to that of my parents was partly their desire to give me a childhood better than theirs. And I think it was a good childhood that they gave me, a storybook childhood. When I was in Form 4 of high school, I don't know what that means. If someone could enlighten me, please let me know. I received tragic news that would change my family forever. I remember it vividly being a sunny, bright, blue day in September. I was in good spirits. It was warm and clear outside. Classes had just restarted after summer vacation, and we students were chattering away during the lunch hour about what we've done during the summer. Lunch hour? Shit, us American kids are lucky if we get 10 minutes. I was in mid-recital of a well-rehearsed story about my summer trip to Taiwan when my teacher had asked me to step out. It had been the first trip I had ever made with my family on an airplane, so I was quite excited to share the details of my trip to my classmates. I've never done anything that would require an interdisciplinary meeting with the principal. So to be singled out like that, my heart dropped. I feared there was some kind of family emergency. I was worried. I got up from my desk amidst the stares of my classmates, and I followed my teacher out of the room. I found that it had been my mother who was waiting to meet me in the school hallway. She was pale, her perfectly permed hair was frizzy. I do know that in, I hope this is the right term, Chinese culture, that I've heard this, that curly hair was actually a big symbol of like power. I could be wrong, and if I am, I do apologize. I have seen something where someone was saying how like for a lot of Chinese people that getting a perm and having curly hair is supposed to be like, that meant you were something fancy, like high class. I knew that something was wrong, but even then she couldn't tell me exactly what happened. It was my teacher who told me that I was excused from afternoon classes and that I should accompany my mother to meet my father in the hospital. Thinking back, I don't think I ever finished telling my friends how I made my family walk from Rao Night Market to, oh God, I am so sorry, Ningxia Night Market, and getting my family lost along the way. My young and native self had vastly underestimated the walking distance between the two places, but my parents had indulged in my wishes. It became a long and languid walk filled with laughter and memorable discoveries, much more than a quick car ride would have ever been. It'll be a private memory I'll always treasure in my heart. I left the school with my mother, and she called for a cab to take us to the hospital. We sat in silence for the entire duration of the car ride. My mother has always been a tight-lipped person, never saying anything more than necessary. I wanted her to reassure me that everything would be okay. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But that would have been asking too much from her. My mother was not an emotionally strong person. It was my It was my father who had been the pillar of support in my family. I had such a foreboding feeling in my heart. I remember feeling so nauseous during that car ride. There was so much traffic that day. There was an accident on one of the arterial roads, creating havoc for traffic. It was supposed to be a 10-minute ride, but because of the accident, it became a 60-minute trip. Jesus. When we arrived at the hospital, my father had already been pronounced dead. Oh God, that sucks. If I knew it was going to be like this, I would have gotten out of the car and walked. And we might have been able to see him before he passed away. But who could have ever predict these things? I couldn't be too hard on myself on this part. There was anything we could have done for my father then. My father had been in a car accident en route to meet a business partner. His vehicle was in mid-turn, and unbeknownst to my father, an oncoming truck ran the red light. Ooh. It was unfortunate. It was truly a terrible turn of events. My father died that September afternoon. I wish I could have said goodbye. The next station is Central. Interchange station for the Blue Island Line. My care for youth had ended then. My mother, too, was never quite the same. She became much more anxious and protective of me, understandably so. Perhaps if my father was still around, I wouldn't be the same person that I am now. I was too childish, too naive. I didn't realize how much of a spoiled child I was. I knew I had to change myself. For the sake of my mother and the memory of my father, I had to become independent and self-reliant. I plunged myself into study to keep my thoughts preoccupied from the reality of our situation. We no longer had family trips. Our table for 3 became a table for 2. My mother sold my father's business, his car, and boxed up his belongings. We moved into a smaller house. My widowed mother didn't want to take over my father's business. She was afraid of being surrounded by too many reminders of my father's death. I never did learn how to drive. But even in death, my father still provided support for us. If father had taken out a sizable life insurance policy before his death, as if he had known something was going to happen. My widowed mother was able to use that money to send me to university and afford a modest home in Kowloon? I am so sorry if I am mispronouncing these names. She could continue her lifestyle as a homemaker, and I could continue to direct my focus towards my studies. It was as if we could live our lives the same way whether or not my father was still alive. It frustrated me deeply how well we could adjust ourselves after his death, so I kept pushing myself. I didn't have any particular aspirations. I just didn't want to be someone that would bring shame to my family. I wanted to be someone that would make them proud. I kept myself fully engaged with study, and whatever interaction I had with my peers already seemed like such a distant memory. Even now, at the age of 23, it feels as if my days of being young had long passed. But it's not like I studied fortuitously without aim or purpose. My efforts were rewarded when my academic standing proved sufficient to land me an esteemed secretarial job at an international publishing firm shortly upon graduation. I was a secretary in title, but not in a normal sense. I answer only and directly to my supervisor. I handle whatever task she asks of me. It can be challenging work sometimes, but I feel fairly competent at what I do. I thought that now my effort had finally produced something of an achievement. My modest success had been attributed to the work ethic that my father had instilled in me. He always put his family first and gave his best effort each day to his work. If my father is in heaven watching over me, I hope he can see this and be proud. My days at the office are like a marathon day after day. Each day will have its own set of challenges. A typical day is as follows. I arrive at work. I note down with complete accuracy the minutes of the daily morning meeting. Once that's finished, I proceed to schedule appointments for our business clients and our marketing staff. Sooner or later, lunchtime rolls in. I'll have the usual meal of barbecue pork rice at the nearby family restaurant. That sounds good, actually. Whether I leave late or early, take out or dine in, the wait in line for lunch rush is always the same. After a quick break, I'm back to the daily grind of work, continue working on my reports. From here on, the flow of time speeds up. I'll continue receiving calls and letters from clients. I take great care to make appropriate correspondence with them all. I can spend several hours at my computer desk without knowing that the sun has already set outside. A day's work will usually finish close to 8 p.m. What time do you go in? I'll tidy up and leave my completed reports on my supervisor's desk for her to review in the morning. It will usually be dark outside when I begin my commute home from work. I walk back to the station from my office. I pass by hundreds of people in a rush to their own destinations. I walk quickly or else I'll be pushed back to wait for the later train. As soon as I step on the train, the flow of time starts to crawl. The train ride is our reprieve. We have no control over how slow or fast it'll take us to our destinations. I like the pattern there, very 80s. I rest my eyes on the train. It will have journeyed through the center of the earth and back by the time I need to disembark. On a typical day, I'll arrive home by 9 p.m. My mother will be waiting for me with a hot meal and we'll have our dinner together. After eating, if I'm in the mood, perhaps I'll continue reading my book or join my mother watching television. Whatever I choose to do for leisure, fatigue always comes quickly for me. I'll shower and prepare for the next day. Okay. Once I place my head on the pillow, it's lights out. I slip into the unconscious world in an instant. The sun rises, and the next day repeats. A day without incident is what I call a good day. Like the clockwork accuracy of a subway system, I like to structure my day in a timetable precise to the minute. A single minute can change the flow of the entire day. If you miss one bus, it can lead to missing every other connection. A 5-minute delay become a 30-minute delay, especially with the compounding congestion and traffic of modern city living. It's important to treasure every single minute. Though sometimes, despite your best efforts, there are things that occur beyond your own foresight. Today was a day with incidents. The usual overhead walkway leading to my office was closed for maintenance. All foot traffic was diverted to other routes. I had to make a detour to reach my building. In a hurry, I hadn't noticed when one of my heels had caught on the sewer grind, and lo and behold, snap. When I rushed to take my next step, the heel had snapped cleanly off my shoe. My beautiful heels. Fior, new collection. I don't know anything about shoes, except Louboutins. Comfortable to wear and stylishly formal. It cost a month's paycheck, but it was an investment towards success. For shoes? To break it in such a way, of course I was upset. It was entirely unsalvageable. And to add insult to injury, I had to hobble my way to the nearest convenience store and purchase a pair of these embarrassingly homely sandals to wear. I hate those. Today was already turning out to be a disaster. I had worn these conspicuous sandals into work, and because of that, I was receiving much teasing from my co-workers. Even with the newest hire felt he could approach me and make a joke about the kitchen slippers on my feet. Today I earned a new nickname at the office. Slippers Chung? I'm so sorry. I didn't know how long it would take to live this down. I resolved to never make such a mistake again. This incident had set my whole day off. I was frazzled. I fumbled with the phone, Xerox machine. My usual 0.01% error rate in transcribing and typing had more than tripled. So, 0.03. Today might have been the longest workday ever. I had to get it together. My supervisor, Mrs. Tam, noticed my distress and pulled me aside. Mrs. Tam personally hired me as her secretary, saying that I reminded her of her younger self. Mrs. Tam is a remarkable woman. She facilitated the rapid growth of her company for the past 20 years. If there's something she's more passionate about other than money making, it had to be shoes. She herself is an aficionado of designer shoes. There's a rumor among my colleagues that she has a closet filled with over 10,000 pairs of luxury market shoes. Why? I've never seen her wear the same shoe twice, so it's a rumor founded with reason. It would be a dream come true to see such a collection with my own eyes. Anyway, I digress. Mrs. Tam recommended that I have the shoe repaired at a cobbler in Mongkok. I really hope I'm getting some of these words right. She said their prices are very reasonable and they could flawlessly fix any shoe within an hour. I took her directions. I made it my mission to have it fixed as soon as possible so I could put this embarrassment behind me. I was about to say, just because you can't fix it doesn't mean the shoe cobbler couldn't. If Mrs. Tam recommended the shoe cobbler, he must be no ordinary shoe cobbler. After what was an embarrassing long workday on my feet, I made my way to the shoe cobbler in Mongkok. Unfortunately for me, it was a busier day than usual on the train. I had to endure a number of stares from the people on the train eyeing my pink slippers like no one's had to get them before. I hurried off the train as soon as I could. Oh, neon, I love neon. And stepped into another crowded place. I don't normally frequent this area as I find navigating its busy crowds and labyrinth of shops and stalls such an ordeal every time I visit. It was certainly busy tonight, as it always was. The amount of people on the streets, the smells, the sounds can be overwhelming. I love that seafood restaurant sign. Even though I love like neon, I do get like the crowd being around you so much. Like, I love New Orleans, and I love like in the French Quarter where you see all the neon. They have a big Walgreens with an old school like neon sign. It's so beautiful to look at, and looking down Bourbon Street and all the neon is so cool. But the people, it's a toss-up, you know. I tried to find my bearings. The cobbler shouldn't be that far from the station exit, according to my supervisor. Looked again at the directions that were dictated to me by Mrs. Tam. Take the east exit and walk towards the convenience store across the street. Continue past the convenience store and look for a bakery. Go past the bakery and take a left at the cosmetic store. I'm overwhelmed. Continue down the road until you reach a pharmacy and turn right. The cobbler should be at the next street corner. I scratched my head. The landmarks indicated certainly would have applied to any other place. With some effort, I was able to find the shoe cobbler in the back alley, a bit away from the main thoroughfare. It was a small store tucked into the street corner. And they're closed. The lights were on, but the gates appeared closed, however. I thought Mrs. Tam said it was open till late. Michelle, that's my friend's, that's my best friend's name. After all this time it took me to find this place. There's a sign that reads call for service. There's no number listed. There's no buzzer either. Am I supposed to just yell? Well, I've already come this far. Ahem. Excuse me. I thought I heard rustling sounds. Is there anyone there? Excuse me. I listened in. There were sounds of a TV or a radio coming through with a closed-up shop. I heard sounds of a person shuffling from inside the store. Oh! A woman soon appeared out of the closed gates. She had the look of someone who would describe herself as an artist. She's got a Walkman on. Her permed hair was styled to look intentionally messy. Hold on. What are you doing there? Be good. Garnished plastic earrings dangled from her ears with impunity, never appearing to get caught in her long hair. She wore a graphic t-shirt under faded jean overalls. I didn't recognize the image on her shirt. I suppose it was the logo of a brand I didn't know. She did appear young enough to be a teenager, though she dressed like a valley girl out of an American movie. Her face was much too lean and her eyes too sharp. She was taller than me, too. I took a good look at her shoes. They were off-white canvas sneakers with a mark on the rubber sole. I began to question Mrs. Tam's choice of recommendation. Oh, a customer. Wait just a moment. Are you the cobbler? Who, me? No. I'm Sam, his daughter. Oh. We were just watching replays of the World Cup game. I'm sorry to disturb you. Not at all. What brings you here? A broken shoe or is it a broken heart? I offer consultations for both. Huh? The woman winked at me. I was confused. Was I in the right place? I was about to excuse myself when a man came out of the half-open store. He had a reliable look to him. Hey, don't scare off my customers. Sorry, young lady. The owner of the store, Mr. Wong. My daughter is quite nosy and likes to talk nonsense. Don't mind her. I see. Are you dropping those shoes off in your bag to be fixed? Yes, that's right. I broke the heel on this one. Do you think it could be fixed? Oh, what a nice shoe. It must have been so expensive. Yes, it'll be such a shame to throw it out. Let me see. Oh, it'll be an easy fix. I can make it as good as new. I'll have it done in under an hour. I'll leave them with you. Thank you very much. That's my master cobbler of a father for you. Ooh. Wong Ka-yang. Would you go back to your own store already? Yeah? After I've come so far to visit you? You can visit me anytime. Alright, I'll get going. It's about dinner time anyway. If it's alright with you, I'll come back later tonight to pick up the shoes. Of course. Excuse me. Bye. The shoe cobbler had quite an odd daughter. What did she mean by consultation? Well, anyway, I'm sure it didn't mean anything. Probably just her eccentric sense of humor. I came here to have my shoes fixed. All I can do now is wait. I have to put my trust in Mrs. Tam and the cobbler she recommended. But what should I do while waiting? I suppose I can look at some of the shops in the area. It's been a while since I've taken my time to look around here. They must run on a later schedule than the normal, like 9 to 5. Obviously, if you're getting out of work at 8 at night. Oh, see, this says 24 hours. And I guess in a big city they would be open late, wouldn't they? I don't know. Maybe. Hold on, let me see something. Oh, it's only. I wonder if, like, if there's anyone out there who's familiar with, like, Hong Kong or that sort of area, maybe kind of fill me in, and maybe there's something I don't know, because I'm not very otherworldly. I don't know that much about Asian culture and how it works. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway. That's right. I could look at the pet stores. There's a few nearby. I glanced at my watch and made a mental note of the time. I'll make my way back to the cobbler in an hour. Afterwards, I'll catch the express bus directly home. Shouldn't take much effort at all to pass an hour waiting here, I thought. There was a street where a few pet stores were next to one another. I looked at a few storefronts. Excuse me. chuckled to myself. Nothing much has really changed since then. The kittens at the window display were curled up together in a ball sleeping. How adorable. And the puppies? One chased his own tail around in a circle. Another one wagged her tail and barked at me while I made eye contact with her. Very cute. I'm much too busy to take care of a pet now. But when I was a small child, having a pet seemed like an essential thing for my happiness. I would ask my mother and father if I could take home a kitten or a puppy whenever we passed by one of these pet stores. I used to tell my parents that it was so pitiful for these animals to be caged and put on display like this, and better for their welfare if I could take one home to love and care for. But a pet was one thing my parents didn't fully indulge me with. My mother would not hear any of it. My father compromised and got me a turtle. I didn't think much favorably towards a turtle. My poor pet turtle. I'm sorry I didn't treat you with much love. It was my father who cared for you then. Oh, pretty. I stepped inside one of the stores. I do love when you go in and you can just hang out in the fish tanks. The sound of splashing water from the aquarium tanks brought back childhood memories when I was a small child and my father would hold me up in his arms to look at the fish. My eyes would light up with wonder at all the colorful fish swimming and darting around in the tank. I walked further into the store. My eyes followed the contrasting oranges and reds of schooling fish against the blue. I didn't know how long it must have stared at the tanks. The deep blue of the fish tanks was something you could get lost in. Over the steady hum of the ultraviolet aquarium lights, I heard the sound of the door chime. Saw the same woman from the shoe cobbler step into the pet store. Stalker. She looked to her left and right. She appeared to be looking for something. Well, whatever it wasn't any of my business. I looked the other way. There were goldfish on display. Some had eye sacs that bulged out of their heads. The features seemed more of an impediment to their swimming ability than something of an aesthetic value. I caught my own reflection in the glass tank. I suppose my swollen eyes weren't all that different. I had been looking at a computer monitor all day. I could put on an iPad when I get home. Something mustard yellow appeared in front of my eyes. It was the reflection of that woman's earrings against the glass. My eyes instinctively followed her movements. This is like every, what do they call it, meet cute kind of thing in sapphic fiction. She walked past me. She had the store attendant bag something from one of the tanks in the back of the store. Then, holding her bag, when she walked over to the fish food section of the store and seemed to contemplate a long time over which fish pellets she should purchase. She had to give each container a hard shake as if the sound rattling pellets was a factor to consider in her decision making. She ended up picking the larger of the two containers. What a strange person. I saw her look my way. I turned around quickly. I didn't want her to think I was staring. I'm not staring. When I looked up again, I saw her standing across from me. Our eyes met. There was a moment of pause between us. I didn't know if I should talk to her. It's not like we knew each other. She thought otherwise, and she smiled as if she had found an old friend. She waved at me, her animated gesture not at all fazing the fish in the tanks. Young lady. She stepped around to stand beside me. Are you buying goldfish? No, I'm just passing time while I'm waiting. I see. You're from the shoe cobbler, right? Is something the matter? Oh no, I was just buying fish food. I see. The thought came to me when I saw you and I thought I should ask. There's this place I like nearby. Would you like to get something to eat with me? Huh? What does that have to do with me? Oh, wait, why should I? Why not? I was just asking what it has to do with me. Well, I thought since you're waiting for your shoe, I am, but I'm sure you're a busy person. No, don't worry. I'm running some errands for my dad, so I don't have to go back to the cobbler later. So I have to go back to the cobbler later anyway. She had a bag of something fishy. What pet food had to do with the cobbler, I did not know. I was thinking of getting some takeout, but you know, food is always better dining in and shared. Right. When you're alone, they always seat you at a big table with other strangers anyway. I'm a stranger too, though. So if you don't mind, would you like to eat together? I don't really want to be a bother to you. No, I insist. Okay. By the time we finish eating, your shoes will be ready too. Is this a technique for this girl to swindle me? I mean, I'm sure it's a technique for something. Okay, and to be fair, I'm blind. I want to catch on if someone was flirting at me. If you bet, I just say I'm flirting with you for me to understand that, but I think I'm catching it. If you want something else, that's okay too. There's a lot of food stalls around here. I can show you the good ones. It's fine, you don't have to. All right, then it's settled. Let's go to the restaurant. Just like that, she linked my arm with hers and led me to a diner across the road. I tried to decline her politely, but I could not utter a strong enough reason to avoid her. It was forward and uncouth of her to push me around like that, but I hazarded to say anything to her about it. I wanted to get home as quickly as possible without any without any fuss or hassle. If I have to go along with this, then so be it. My poor shoes were being held hostage by this weird woman. Not exactly. I was led to a small Hong Kong-style diner. It was an unremarkable restaurant. A diner like this could be found in any district around Hong Kong. Sam pulled out the remarkably colorful plastic chair out for me, and hesitantly took my seat. I observed her set her mysterious bag down on the table as if it was a normal everyday thing to do. She handled... Wow, I cannot read today. I am so sorry, everyone. She handed me a menu that she grabbed from the next table over. I quickly glanced at it. The menu items were typical. I wasn't thinking of eating much. I was more concerned about the bag she brought from the pet store. An outer, opaque paper bag shielded her aquatic purchase from glances of other restaurant patrons. That was a mouthful. I was bewildered. She treated it like a purchase from the vegetable market, sitting it on the table like that. I kept my handbag close to my side. Before I could continue with my thoughts, a waitress came over and took her order. Have you decided? Order as you please. Give me a moment. Alright, I'll order first. I'll get the beef brisket with rice noodles, and I'll add a milk tea with that. Oh, and I'll get the chef salad for takeout. That's it for me. I'll order the clubhouse sandwich. Anything to drink? The tea is fine, thank you. Eating a sandwich for dinner? This place is known for their beef brisket. I don't like to eat too much after 9 p.m. If you have too many carbohydrates late in the night, you'll gain weight easily, you know. 80s skinny culture. Really? Is that true? I eat late every day. Yeah, you're also 23. Calm down. Well, maybe not for you. The waitress came back and placed on the table her order of milk tea. The cobbler's daughter proceeded to pour a whole sachet of sugar into the already sugary drink without tasting it first. She stirred in the sugar and took a sip. She reached for another sugar pack and was about to tear open before she stopped herself. Must have made a face unconsciously. I think it's fine as long as you eat in moderation. You should eat more, in fact. You want some of my brisket? No, thank you. I'm not that hungry. Do you work in an office? I wonder how you can tell. Those heels you dropped off were really impressive. Yes, I work in a publishing company as a secretary. An OL? Well, anyone would have figured. Your suit really gives that away. It's not like being an OL is something to hide. I don't know what an OL is. Absolutely. It's too bad your shoe broke. Your sandals right now don't really match your get-up. Are you making fun of me? No, I just think it's really interesting. An OL wearing bright pink kitchen slippers to work. I'm trying to think of what an OL is. How refreshingly empowering. Empowering? What do you mean by that? Like someone who can command the attention of the whole room. It was an accident that I broke my heels on the way to work. These slippers were just a replacement. Please don't try to categorize me as something based on one thing. Calm down, sensitivo. Well, you still went around town with them. That's gutsy. I would have picked out something less conspicuous to wear instead. It's not like I had time to find something else to wear. Alright, let's leave it at that. Say, do you have an aquarium? Huh? You were looking at the goldfish earlier. Oh, no, I just like looking at the animals. I see. That's cute. Cute. Can I ask you then? Are you a cat person or a dog person? Oh, why isn't there like a both? Why do you have to choose? I'd say a dog. Dog? I see. Why did you ask? It's nothing really. I just wanted to make light conversation. I see. Do you keep any pets? I saw you bought fish food. I don't. The fish food is for my dad. Well, not him, but for his fish. Oh. How about yourself? In the corner of my eye, I saw the bag she had put the table was about to... I saw the bag she had put on the table was about to fall over. I heard a rustling noise. I wasn't sure what was in her bag, but whatever it was alive and trying to escape. She caught it before it fell off the dining table. She placed the bag again on the table, this time tucking between the container of chili oil and salt and pepper shakers. No. I see. Well, I kept a turtle before. It was more my father's pet turtle. I didn't really care for it. That's okay. You know, my dad really loves his pet fish. I bought extra food for the fish. You could take some for the turtle. She motioned to take the bag. Wow. She motioned to take out the bag for all to see in the restaurant. Wait. Please save it for yourself. I don't have the turtle anymore. Oh no, I'm sorry. The poor turtle. Well, I'm not sure what happened to it. It ran away? A turtle? No. We let him go in the pond when my family moved. The public pond? Well, a lot of things happened at that time. Oh, we haven't even been introduced to each other yet. My family name is Wong. My given name is Ka Yan. I really hope that's right. You can call me Sam, though. I have a small video store just around the corner near here. Oh, really? That is actually really cool. The shop is called Diamond Videos. It's a humble little store, but we have all sorts of movies if you're interested in a recommendation. What's your name? Ooh. Cheng? Chung? Fong Ha? My English name is Michelle. That is something I do know. The little I know of Chinese culture is they have, if they live in America, they have their American name. So you might have someone, they have their Chinese name and they have their American name. So you'll have a lot of Chinese people with like the common like Wong, but their first name is like, is actually something like Tina. You know, it's very American. Michelle Fong Ha Chung. I hope I'm saying that right. What a powerful name. Please don't say my name so loud like that. It sounds so much like a Peking opera stage name. I wish my mother gave me a more cheerful name like yours. I think it's a beautiful and graceful name that your mother has given you. When I was in school, there were 5 other Kayans in my class. It was terribly confusing. Really? It must be troublesome, right? So what made you choose Michelle as your English name? A lot of people I've met picked phonetically similar to their Chinese name. Oh, really? Yeah. It was my father who suggested that name to me. He said it was from an English song. I thought it sounded nice. That's funny, because my friend Michelle, it's exactly how she spells her name. Her name is from a song as well, is where her mother got it. And I think it's a Beatles song, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, Isn't that from a famous song? I might have that record somewhere. Really? I don't really listen to much Western music. That's alright. What music do you listen to then? I like artists like, oh god, Sai Chin and Teresa Tang. I see. So you like Mandarin folk. That's interesting. I can see why you like it. I like singers who express a lot of emotions in their songs, not just in Mandarin. I also like Anita Mui? Is that so? I love Anita Moy. Are these real people? Because I might have to look them up and listen to what they sound like. Her fashion and singing is top-notch, isn't it? Yes, it is. I've been following her since she won the new talent competition. I admire how hard she works. Right? She's an inspirational artist. Do you have a cassette player? Oh my god. I do. Would you like to listen to this mix I got? I got Anita Moy and other artists that I like on this. A Walk Me. A So Me Walk Me. Sam showed me a cassette tape that she had in her pocket. She had one of those portable cassette players clipped to her pants. We'll see when I'll see you again, Teresa C. Just being myself. I want your love, the boss. Is that Diana Ross? On the cassette label was a handwritten playlist. I didn't recognize the names of the musicians other than Anita and Deanie Ip. I saw she had the names of English artists written down, but I didn't know who they were. It's alright. No, I have a bunch of these. I used to work in a record store some time ago, so I made them when the day was so. I used to make mixtapes when I was a kid. And when I first started driving, my car was older and only had a cassette deck. So I would make mixtapes. So I'd have to make mixtapes, or I'd have to make cassettes of my CDs to listen to in the car. Kind of miss doing that. It was a lot of fun. It's fine. You don't need to. Aw. I'll look into it later. Where did your name come from, Sam? It doesn't sound like your Chinese name at all. A friend picked it out for me. When I was younger, I usually worked late tending to the record store. It was a shop my friend had helped manage. At the end of the day, she'll come over to collect the money from the register, and she'll ask me to eat a late dinner with her. She was my senior, so I would just say, let's eat dinner. Oh, is that how you say the name? No, that can't be right. 656? She said every time she saw me in the evening that she stopped addressing me as my Chinese name. She just greeted me with that phrase. So one day, she got the bright idea of calling me Samantha. We worked at a semi-popular record store then. Sometimes English speakers would come in looking for certain records. My friend said it was better to have an English name. It makes it easier for business. So that's how the name Samantha stuck. Okay. I was wondering why they had English names if they were in Hong Kong. Although, back then, Hong Kong was technically, I'm pretty sure this is right, technically English territory or British territory. So there probably was a lot of English speakers then. I didn't like it at first. In fact, I felt that my friend was ridiculing me with that name. I adapted it to Sam. And before I knew it, everyone started calling me by that. I grew to like it. I see. That's an interesting story, Samantha. It's hard to say. That's why I don't mind people shortening it to Sam. Easier to say and easier to spell. Feels more personal, too. I see. You're not eating your salad. I don't really like fruit salad when it's too creamy. And don't waste it then. You should have gotten your sandwich with fries instead. I thought she did get a sandwich. I didn't know it would be this kind. It's always this kind of salad at these restaurants. Anyway, I'll eat it if you don't want it. They'll just trash it if you don't finish it. There's a lot of people starving in the world. Alright, if you really insist. Thank you, I'll just help myself. You're really eating it. What's that, you laugh at me? I just think you're pretty interesting. We just met and you're finishing my meal. Well, I think if you live your life with too many reservations, you'll miss out on all the fun. Fair. You'll end up getting constipated too. Just from not having the salad? Well, maybe if you always don't eat salad. It's not like I don't eat any salad. Okay, give it back. I'll have some too. Yeah, now you're laughing at me. You're too funny. That's what I should be saying to you. Excuse me. We continued talking about this and that after finishing the meal. Sam had an interesting perspective on things, I have to admit. I suppose it wasn't bad to pass the time with company like this. Shall we head back? Your shoe should be fixed by now. Oh, already? Okay. Let's get the bill. I already got it. Yep. When? When you were in the washroom earlier? That's not fair. Here, take this. No, I asked you to dinner and ate most of your food. I had to get takeout for my dad anyway. Still, what did I say about having no reservations? Alright then, next time is on me, okay? Okay, let's have sukiyaki next time? Sukiyaki, that's not fair. How about conveyor belt sushi then? Huh? If you can limit yourself to just one plate. I'm just joking. We walked back to the shoe cobbler together. Couldn't bring myself to ask her age. I guess she was a few years older than me. She gave me the air of an older sister. I laughed lightly to myself. An older sister wearing a t-shirt and sneakers, a younger sister wearing a full blazer suit. The thought of it was amusing. Michelle? What's so funny? It's nothing. The shop's the other way. Yeah? I remembered wrong. You don't come here often. No, not really. Follow me this way. It's just a quick walk back. Okay. Here we are. Hey, Dad, we're back. Yeah, you girls came back together. Are the shoes finished? Of course, I finished them a long time ago. As expected from the Grandmaster. Don't call me that. Oh, here's your fish food and your dinner. Don't get the bags mixed up. I won't, thank you. Huh, there's only one box. Did you eat already? I already ate with Michelle. Huh? With her? Her? Thank you, sir. Here's the payment. I'll come by again next time if I need another repair done. No need to be so polite. Come by anytime. I gave Mr. Wong the payment for his service in exchange for my repaired shoes. Finally, my ordeal was over. Seems like you had a rather nice time in the city. I should head out. All right. I'll be going home. It's gotten quite late now. My bad for keeping you long. I appreciate you for keeping me company. No, I should thank you. Thanks for taking care of me today. My pleasure. Are you taking the subway? I can walk you to the station entrance. No, it's fine. I decided to take a taxi instead. Okay. I already see one coming down this way. I'll help you flag it down. Sam raised her hand and a passing taxi immediately pulled over to the side for her. She opened the passenger seat door for me. Thanks. Michelle, it was nice meeting you. I enjoyed talking with you. Me too. Sam seemed to wait for my response. I looked away. I felt anticipatory gaze from Sam. Something about the way she looked at me made my heart pound. I didn't know why it made me feel this way. Lesbian! I never had such a feeling before with anyone. The taxi's loud radio filled the void of silence between us. I should say something to her at least. I'll visit your store. And we can talk more next time. Michelle. Yes, I'll look forward to it. Sam. Oh, I wanted to say something more, but before I could speak, the taxi driver laid on his arm. Let's go. Let's not keep the taxi driver waiting. I hope to see you again sometime. Bye-bye. I got in the car. Sam closed the door. And the taxi sped off into the night. In a few turns, the car had left Mongkok. I forgot to say goodbye to her. She said, beat it. It had taken me longer than expected, but I accomplished what I had sought out to do today. I opened the bag that I received from Mr. Wong. I examined the shoes. The heel was repaired perfectly. There were no signs of damage to be found. Looked as good as new, exactly what Mr. Wong had promised. It had been quite a day of mishap, but in the end, I couldn't help giggling to myself in the taxi. Funny how things work out sometimes. Sam and Mr. Wong were a peculiar daughter and father pair. They talked so nonchalantly, I would have thought they were siblings instead. I guess some families were like that. They're certainly interesting people, especially that girl, Sam. Sometimes, inconveniences can lead to memorable moments beyond what could ever be expected. I haven't let myself go with the flow of things for so long that I had almost forgotten this feeling. It was nice sometimes. I met someone new tonight. The shoe cobbler's daughter. A video store order in Mongkok. I wondered if our paths would cross like it did again. texting me to turn off the bypass. I'd be home in a few moments. I could put my feet up and indulge myself in a good novel. My feet were just throbbing after a long day of running back and forth from here and there. I took a peek at my shoes again. I was excited to wear these shoes tomorrow. They were polished and shiny. They'd looked even better than before. Oh my goodness. My building complex came into view. I hope my mother did not mind me coming home a bit later than usual. I returned home quite late. I stepped into my house. The kitchen lights were off. My mother must have eaten dinner by now. She probably cleaned up and had gone to bed already. Mother? Oh. I saw cooked dishes left out on the dining table. She didn't have to leave food out for me every time. I heard the sound of my mother's bedroom door open. Fong Ha. Mother, I'm home. My mother appeared out of the bedroom with a frown on her face. Oh. Why are you home so late? I'm 23, calm down. You should have called me, I was worried. I'm sorry. I had broken the heel on my shoe and I went to get it fixed after work. I didn't think it would take as long as it did to get repaired. Did you eat yet? Yes, I had something while waiting. Then remember to call me next time. All this food I made for you is cold. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Don't be out so late again. If you need to run an errand, have it done during the day. The streets are dangerous for a young woman like you. Yes, Mother. I understand. She comes home at like 9 o'clock at night. What are you talking about? I'm so tired now after waiting up with worry. Pack up the food for me. I'm going to sleep now. Okay, I'm sorry to have made you worry. Oh my God. My mother walked back into her bedroom as quietly as she came. I packed up the food she had left for me as silently as I could. Clang, clang. I had forgotten about my mother. It was my habit to call her if something came up at work for me to come home late. If I forget to let her know, she would wait up all night worrying over me. It was my fault to have provoked such a feeling. Guilt. Seeing her leave out a meal on the kitchen table made my heart smell with guilt. Whatever energy that I had earlier had all left me now. I was all run out. I should manage to clean the dishes and wash up. Have another day at work tomorrow. That girl Sam. Must be nice to be so carefree like that. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to save. And we will come back and continue the story at a later time. So, right now, we'll lay that off here. I hope you're enjoying it so far. I know this has like 2 possible endings. I'm not sure if I'll do both. Maybe if I get a bad ending, if there is a bad ending, I'll do it. I'll do both and try to see. But I'm loving it. I'm trying to be better about reading slower. So hopefully it's a bit more easier to understand me. But I'm going to leave this off here. So thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to jump down on that like button if you did like it. Leave a comment down below with any other game suggestions or video ideas you'd like to see from me. Share this channel with your friends and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already to see other videos that I've done. I will see you